What's up everyone? Got just a quick update video for you today. Now as most of you know, I just put out my 3 stocks for June video. It's the last video I put out, and one of the stocks in that video, the medium risk option, was actually Verizon, which I feel that some of the risk for Verizon stock comes from the fact that their financials are pretty low growth and they've been spending so much on capex with 5G and internet infrastructure that their very large dividend isn't very sustainable at their current rate of spending. That's where I feel some of that risk comes from. However, on the other side of things, the value that I see in Verizon stock is in the fact that their financials are actually still pretty strong considering the horrible economy that we're in. And once they can get spending under control for capex, I do feel that the dividend will become sustainable again. And considering that the stock price is trading at like a decade low and the dividend yield is at a record high, I do feel that the stock is worth investing in. When the economy improves, I think investors will flock back into the stock. And especially if interest rates go lower, I think more people will see the value of that really high dividend. So that was kind of my overall take on the stock. However, shortly after recording that video, some breaking news came out, some rumors that Amazon, of all companies, is apparently thinking about entering the telecom market so that they can offer wireless service to Prime subscribers for either a very low cost or potentially even free included with their Prime memberships. And that would obviously be very disruptive for the biggest telecom giants out there like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, which all of them charge very high prices for a lot of their subscription plans, a lot of their wireless plans. And so if Amazon comes into the picture offering a dramatically lower price, you can bet that a lot of people would definitely think about switching over. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about in today's video. Let's quickly cover those rumors, see where they're coming from, how likely they are, how they might affect these stocks, and I'll give you my personal opinion on all of it and what I'm personally doing myself. Of course, keep in mind, I do own a small position in Verizon stock, but I'm actually much more heavily invested in Amazon, which is like my 4th or 5th largest stock in my portfolio. So I would be affected by either one of those. So I'll give you my take on everything. I'll let you know what I'm planning to do myself, and it should be an interesting one. So let's just dive straight into it. Okay, now we know that Amazon has obviously risen to be the #1 largest online retailer, controlling over half of the entire US market alone. And it feels like they're always looking to enter new markets, which is not always a guaranteed success for them, but some of the more obvious examples were their entry into cloud computing, where they quickly became the #1 market share leader of that market too in the entire world, before later deciding to also enter the massive digital advertising market, which by the way used to be strongly controlled by Google and Meta before Amazon turned it into a triopoly, with now the 3rd most market share of that market as well. And there's even a few other smaller examples, like with electric vehicles through investments in Rivian, although that's something that has actually lost them a lot of money. But you also have their heavy focus on game streaming through their acquisition of Twitch, music streaming through Prime Music, and even video streaming through Prime Video, which they even went as far as to acquire MGM for over $8 billion just to further bolster their video offerings too. And speaking of which, their Prime membership, which costs around $15 a month, has already surpassed over 200 million subscribers, which is an estimate from a couple years ago. So that number is likely way bigger by now too. But even at just 200, it would still be the 3rd largest video streaming platform, only behind Netflix and Disney, with nobody else really even coming close. So again, you see just how easy it is for Amazon to become a big player in almost any market that they choose to enter, and that's why entering the telecom market right now would be such a big deal, especially to the big 3 that completely dominated in America, with Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile together holding over 99% of the entire market, while the next closest competitor in US Cellular sits at just a measly 1%, so it's not even close. So will Amazon enter and disrupt this market too, just like they did with others? Well, that's where this report comes in from Bloomberg, who claims that Amazon has been in talks with Verizon, T-Mobile, and Dish Network for the past 6 to 8 months, trying to get the lowest possible wholesale price on their services so that they can then redistribute them to their own Prime members. AT&T is also believed to have, at times, been involved in the discussions. And so apparently Amazon would try to partner with one of these companies and then offer the service either for free included in your Prime subscription or for a very low cost of around $10 a month, which, by the way, that's almost exactly what they do with Prime Music, where you get a basic tier that is included with Prime, but if you want the full unlimited version, you have to pay an additional $9 a month. So it could easily be something very similar to that. Still, all of this just feels like pure speculation to me because not only are the sources for the report cited as just people familiar with the situation, which is super vague and could literally be anyone, but on top of that, most of the parties involved have already denied the claims, which I suppose they could be lying, but keep in mind that these are giant publicly traded companies, so if they're lying, that would open them up to huge lawsuits and possible fines from the SEC. I will note, however, that there was actually a very similar claim made just a couple weeks ago from the Wall Street Journal that Dish was in talks with Amazon for the same thing, but since then, Amazon has denied the claims and Dish has not yet released any comment on it. Parties that did comment this time, though, include AT&T, who said AT&T is not in discussions with Amazon to resell wireless services. T-Mobile also said Amazon is a great partner to T-Mobile in many areas, and we are always interested in working more closely with our crosstown neighbors in new ways. However, we are not in discussions about inclusion of our wireless service in Prime, and Amazon has told us that they have no plans to add wireless service. So that's pretty freaking clear, guys. Like T-Mobile literally saying that Amazon specifically told them that they are not adding wireless service. So it'd be pretty messed up to just kind of backstab a partner like that and lie to them. Because, by the way, Amazon partners with all of these companies by providing cloud computing services through AWS. And Amazon even uses some of them for offering their own private 5G to companies through AWS as well. In fact, I remember everyone was panicking just a couple years ago about Amazon disrupting the enterprise 5G market, only to later find out that Amazon was just partnering with them instead, and it didn't really make any difference. So who knows if a similar situation doesn't just happen here too. But regardless, my point is that they're all deeply connected. So I'm not sure Amazon would even want to jeopardize their highly valued contracts by competing directly with them, let alone straight up lying to their faces about it like they would have, obviously with T-Mobile here. But back to the comments, Verizon also chimed in saying Verizon is not in negotiations with Amazon regarding the resale of the nation's best and most reliable wireless network. Our company is always open to new and potential opportunities, but we have nothing to report at this time. And finally, even Amazon themselves stated that we are always exploring adding even more benefits for Prime members, but don't have plans to add wireless at this time. And again, the only company who I have not seen a response from yet is Dish Network, who arguably stands to benefit the most out of anyone since they have by far the least market share and their business has been struggling for years. So as a result, their stock actually climbed by over 16% on Friday following the rumors, but it's still down almost half its value this year after also losing over 76% last year, and it's currently down over 90% from the top. So it's just been a disaster of a stock over the past decade. Meanwhile, AT&T stock sunk about 4% because of the threat of Amazon entering the market, while T-Mobile lost over 5% and Verizon lost over 3%. I personally own Verizon because I just think it's the best value of the three, as it currently trades at a decades low price despite having the highest quality, and the dividend is now mouthwatering at around 7.5% yield, which is the largest it's ever been. I do also own Amazon though, but they only rose about 1% on the news. Overall though, I feel that there are three main takeaways from all of this, at least in my opinion. Number one is that we're clearly dealing with a ton of speculation here, so I feel that it's just too difficult to make any kind of investment decision based on just what we've seen so far. If Amazon enters the market, yes, it would be a huge deal. We're talking major disruption. But Will Amazon want to screw over companies that they already do so much business with? Would that be worth it to them? And what would it even look like? Who would be a loser? Who would be a winner? Who would be a partner? It's all kind of speculation here, and I'm just not sure that it's worth panicking so much over, at least not yet, until we get more information. Takeaway number 2, though, is that while the telecommunications market has a huge barrier to entry because of all the infrastructure involved, this situation here just shows once again just how easy it is for any company out there to be disrupted as long as it's the right situation or you have enough capital, which obviously Amazon's always going to have the funds and the means to be able to enter just about any market they really want to. And so I would just caution you guys to always be careful with your investments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket or even just a few. Always diversify as much as possible to help lower your risk. This is a perfect example here why. And then takeaway number 3, I would say that if we were to ask the question, who's a winner from all of this, which stock is a buy based on this situation, it's clearly Amazon. I mean, they've just shown yet again just how scared everyone is of them. Even at just the hint of Amazon entering a new market, people start panicking, stocks fall. I mean, it's crazy just how dominant Amazon is. Even at just the sight of them approaching, everyone gets scared. So I still continue to feel that Amazon is one of the best investments out there. It's very, in my opinion, very safe long-term investment. Could be a core staple of almost anyone's portfolio. I am still invested in Verizon though, but it's just a much smaller position. It's only around 1 to 2% of my portfolio. It's like my 15th largest stock, whereas Amazon is like my 5th largest stock. So I have way more exposure to Amazon. That just shows you how I feel about them in terms of risk. I think Amazon is way safer, but I still see a lot of value in Verizon. I will still continue to buy it as it falls in very small amounts. But I think that Verizon has significant risk that everyone should be aware of. I just don't feel that these rumors are enough to deter me away from investing in Verizon too much. But it is something that we definitely have to keep a very close eye on because it could be a huge deal if any of this turns out to be true. So Verizon, significant risk, should be aware of that. Amazon, in my opinion, is the clear best choice out of everything we've talked about today. But those are just my feelings. What do you all think? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Let me know. And let me know if you're investing in any of these stocks that we've talked about. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you again for all the support, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this quick update. And I will catch you in the next video, my friends. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.